Hey guys, I'm Jordy, and this is your guide to the ball-throwing, mind-controlling, ear-blasting welcome party of Heart of Fear, the infamous Imperial Vizier Zor'Lok.
Her happiness is our reward, her sorrow our failure.
Okay, well, I think I can safely say this will be the hardest first boss in Classic WoW to date. You'll be face-palming at people as they eat balls after balls, take unnecessary risks, and die to silly things as you pull this guy and learn the fight. So listen up and skip most of that prog with a few easy tricks that'll have you marching through the rest of the instance in no time. Alright, Zor'Lok is a two-phase fight. The first in 3 sections where you'll get a different mechanic in each, while the last phase ties all 3 together where you'll frantically rush to finish him off before you're overwhelmed with everything. As far as raid comp, you're looking at the normal 2 tanks and 5 to 6 healers. I think going up to 6 for this early on for most guilds would be a good option, as that final phase is pretty intense healing wise, but then again, most of the time if you die on this fight, it was probably to a near one-shot mechanic, so maybe a 6 healer isn't necessary, but it is up to you. So, we'll walk through each of the first phases sections one by one, and then in the final phase, weave it all together and talk about how to handle this onslaught. First up, the room is split into 3 raised platforms and a large central chamber. You'll fight the first phase on each of these, starting on the right, then moving to the left, and then the back, and finally, the center of the room where you'll finish him off in phase 2. Now throughout the fight, Zor'Lok will cast Inhale and Exhale. Exhale targets a random player and just screams at them. Dude, really rude, let's use our inside voices. While this is channeling, the afflicted player is stunned, but if someone wants to get in between the boss and the targeted player, ideally a tank, they can soak it for them. Each time he casts Inhale, it increases the damage of the next Exhale by 50%. He'll cast Exhale occasionally, but if he's got 3 or more stacks of Inhale, the Inhale stacks will fall off. Just watch it at 3 or more stacks because the Exhale will really hurt. Alright, so in this first phase, as we pull Zor'Lok, he'll fill the room with pheromones of zeal. Yummy. And if you stay in this, you'll take about 30,000 nature damage every second and get silenced. This doesn't really matter outside of a couple moments in this fight, as you'll primarily be standing on the platforms in this first phase, so don't stress it. Alright, so as we pull him, he flies down and lands on this right platform. Just watch it here, he'll often turn and smack somebody, often killing them, so wait a tick until the tank has threat. It does help to taunt here tanks just to be sure he's stuck to you until you've established threat. Okay, so about 20 seconds in, Zor'Lok does his first featured mechanic, Force and Verve. This is a 2-second cast followed by a 10-second channel where he'll hit the entire raid with about 139,000 damage a second. Now normally this would be tough to survive, but fortunately he's also provided us with these nice little yellow sound booths to shield us from the worst of it.
Ron, where are you? I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Thanks Zor'Lok, what a nice guy. Now, when you're standing in these things, you'll take 60% less damage from Force and Verve, and a whopping 75% less damage from his Sonic Rings. More on those in a sec, and on 25-man, you'll get 4 of them. 2 in melee-ish range and 2 further out. Now, each of these can shelter up to 7 people from the Force and Verve, but you also might want to pop a couple raid CDs here to help mitigate the damage. Split up into close, middle, far, and make sure not too many people are in one bubble, maybe with some pre-planning, and heal through it. Now, at 80%, and to be fair, at 60% and 20%, Zor'Lok does his most critical ability and splits into an Echo. While maintaining his regular form, the Echo plants on the platform you're fighting while the main body flies up into the room to the left platform, which we'll now call Platform 2. If no one is in melee range of Zor'Lok, he'll begin casting Song of the Empress, a 10-second cast that if allowed to finish, will wipe your raid. So, you'll be looking to send a strike team over to engage him while the rest of the raid stays on the platform. A tank and 2 healers should take a demonic gateway or run across with rocket boots, sprinting as fast as they can across and engaging Zor'Lok. Now, complicating this is the Echo still has all of the main Zor'Lok's old abilities, and will quickly cast Force and Verve, but this time only 2 noise-canceling bubbles will be present. you're looking to leave the other 22 people here and quickly burn the Echo while using raid cooldowns to mitigate the damage that it does. Powered Barrier, Spirit Link, Rally, Demo Banner, all the things that we've hopefully gotten used to using and survive it. Okay, so while the Echo is casting Force and Verve, the 2 healers and the tank on the opposite platform will also be taking this damage, so those healers need to pop big defensives like Bubble, Life Cocoon, any damage mitt that they've got, while the tank does the same because there really isn't any support for them over there. The first platform should be close to finishing the Echo, so you don't have to survive for that long, just keep yourselves and the tank up and survive. Okay, the Echo has died, and the rest of the raid now wants to sprint across the room to Zor'Lok and continue damaging him. Unfortunately, and depending on your DPS, you're likely to be facing down Zor'Lok's next ability. Real quick, Zor'Lok won't cast Force and Verve again until phase 2 when he lands in the center of the room, so you don't have to worry about that. But what you do have to worry about is attenuation. Yep, you've probably heard about this by now. Let's play the clip.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What? Any other questions? Oh my God!
Yeah, so this thing is no joke. Your guys will die to this and you'll flame them, and then on the next pull, you'll die and then they'll flame you. It's a vicious cycle. So be careful about throwing rocks in a house made of balls or whatever the saying is. So yeah, as we move across, and remember, we're taking tick damage and we're silenced in this gas, we will be getting balls flying overhead from the platform. These will damage you if you're on the ground, or so they did on beta, and on beta, they were very difficult to see because of some graphical irregularities, so be careful and consider just waiting until the balls are gone and then get across. Once the raid is regrouped, everyone should stack in melee range at a mark predetermined by the raid leader. I recommend here and pump. You'll get your next attenuation in a second, and yep, now it's everybody in the raid's time to dodge. So let's talk about these balls. First, the yellow ones are called Sonic Rings, and they deal about 140,000 damage to anybody they hit. Now, these won't one-shot you, but they do hurt, especially since you'll likely take 2 ticks per ring if you do get hit, meaning you'll take about 280,000 damage per collision. Now, the second and much more dangerous are the green ones, Sonic Pulses. Now, these are heroic only, but they deal double the damage of the Sonic Rings and are critically important to dodge, as not even the tank will be able to survive hits of these. So, if you have to get hit by a yellow one, because you cannot risk it with the green ones. Okay, so these things act a little weird sometimes, but generally the plan here is to run within a spoke of the spiral, staying close enough that you can easily dodge, while far enough away that they won't spawn on top of you. It's a delicate balance that you will get eventually, and I'll play a few of our dodges here so you can kind of get a sense of it, but it will take some learning. One thing to note, when the balls hit a certain distance, they will split into multiples and ricochet around the room. Some have said it's a collision-based thing, but after reviewing all this footage, I'm pretty sure it's distance from the boss. Either way, don't get hit. Dodge, 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 and survive. Small tip here too, if you're cornered and can't get out, you can pop a defensive and run through a yellow ring to get to a safe area. It's risky, sure, but it's better than just sitting there and dying, so something to consider. Okay, so you'll probably get 3 or 4 of these attenuations before you hit 60%. So he dodges a few times, and then once he does hit 60%, he spawns another Echo and takes off and flies to the central platform. You'll want to split your raid up here, half going to the new platform and the other half staying there and finishing off the Echo as fast as they can. We like to leave the range on this platform and the melee move to the middle one, but up to you how you want to handle it. Okay, so half your raid now moves, and we begin the final section of phase 1, the middle platform. Other than the inhale exhale, the only other mechanic that he does here is convert. On 25 man, this will mind control 5 people, increasing their damage and health by 150% and causing them to attack their friends. The only way to break them out is by reducing their HP to 50%. So we'll look to AoE grip, stun, silence, and generally disrupt them by any means, preventing them from really wrecking your raid, and then DPSing them down quickly to break them out. One thing to consider, before the mind control, you want to use any of your big fears or stuns so that the mind control players don't do that on your raid. Druid and Ellie Shaman knockbacks are also good, the whole 9 yards, anything that you want to avoid happening. A Monk's Ring of Peace is really helpful here, as well as a Prot Warrior Shockwave, Balanced Druid Solar Beam. Just get them handled and broken free ASAP. You've also probably noticed, until the second platform's echo is dead, you'll occasionally get balls drifting toward the stack. So keep your eyes on when they're coming and shift your positioning to avoid. It's easy to just tunnel your frames and get run over here, so don't. Alright, so you'll get a few of these, and then at 40% he'll take off, this time not leaving an echo, and land in the middle of the room between all of the platforms. Thus begins Phase 2. Now this, in my opinion, is the hardest section of the entire raid. And yes, it's on the first boss. So, now that you've seen all 3 of Zor'Lok's big abilities, he's decided to use all of them against you at once. This is a no-holds-barred race to the finish, as what he's about to do is just, and I'm not kidding here, this phase is insane. I love it so much. It's bullet hell craziness. This shit is bonkers.
Now you're all in big trouble.
All right, that was the last one, I promise. Back to the boss. Now Zor'Lok lands and we pop Lust. 15 seconds later, he'll cast Attenuation. Fun stuff, so dodge. This one seems to behave a bit differently than the first one sometimes. I'm not totally sure, just watch it for those banisters on the stairs and dodge. 15 seconds after that, another Force and Verve. Remember this one? So we stack, pop cooldowns, and keep DPSing, doing our best to keep the rate up. Then another Attenuation. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you, we get another Echo, doing all of those abilities as well. Okay, so here's what we're looking to do. Right before his Echo spawns, which is about a minute into Phase 2, you'll want to drag him towards a corner of the room by this pillar because the Echo is stationary and won't move. So we drag the boss here, he spawns it, and it stays here with one of your tanks. Then we rush the main boss to the far side of the room because things are about to get super hairy. He'll do a convert sometimes, stun and CC your friends to make sure they don't one-shot people or disrupt positioning, and then get that main boss to the opposite corner because about 15 to 20 seconds after the Echo spawns, it will cast its own Attenuation, and if you're anywhere near it when it does that, it will be super difficult to dodge while also dealing with the main Zor'Lok. At this point, you're going to sometimes be dealing with 2 Attenuations at the same time, followed by a convert or a Force and Verve from Zor'Lok. It's nuts. So do your best to burn the boss and take it down before you're overwhelmed. It's pretty hard to give you exactly what to do in this phase. The timings are a little all over the place. Some polls we had things go one way, some another, and I'm sure there is a cleaner way to do this than we did. I died a lot, but at a certain point, you'll just call all men and women for themselves and everybody dodges. Keep yourselves up, and when a Force and Verve comes out, do your best to stack under the boss and pop raid CDs to survive it. Now, if you manage to dodge well, keep your ears from bleeding, and stun your friends long enough to prevent them from killing you, Zor'Lok should go down, and you've got 3 bosses ahead of you in order of magnitude easier than this guy to look forward to. Okay, let's talk about some tank tips. First, it's critical to remember once Zor'Lok lands at his next platform, you need to rush to engage him or else he'll cast Song of the Empress and wipe your raid. So boot over there, take a gate, whatever it takes to get in position and avoid that. Also in phase 2, things are insane once the echo comes out, so make sure you're positioning it correctly. Drop it off in the corner, then hightail it over to the far side of the room with the raid because you need to be as far away from the echo as possible or you'll have a much harder time dodging its attenuation. And as you're moving, consider popping a big defensive. Your healers won't be as capable to keep you up, so give them a hand and use something. For the healers, you've got a lot of cooldowns to manage for this fight. Force and Verb, Attenuation, Converts, and then all 3 or 6 with the Echo stuff. So plan ahead and work with your warriors, your paladins, what have you, to have those raid cooldowns popped for everything. And when the Echo and Zor'Lok are doing all their things sub 20%, you should try to have everything rolling as long as you can. Paladins, Bubble is really nice to have here. Mistweavers, a well-timed revival, will go hard in saving people. And you can even have your Resto Druid Symbiosis a Shaman to get Spirit Walker's Grace so they can move and channel Tranquility at the same time. Yes, that is a thing. Symbiosis is a very cool spell. Start looking into it. And for the DPS, this is about dodging, not making risky, unnecessary plays, and saving those big cooldowns for the final phase. You have very little time to kill Zor'Lok before him and the Echo overwhelm the raid with garbage, so get Zor'Lok down and move on. And don't forget to pop your big defensives. There's big opportunities here during the attenuation if you happen to get cornered, and don't forget that you can run through the yellow balls if you have to. And then of course, at the very end of the fight, things are nuts, so use them there. All right, well that is it for Grand Vizier Zor'Lok. I'm sorry again about the length. Like I mentioned previously, this fight is maybe the hardest first encounter in any raid to date. I promise the guides for the rest of the raid are not going to be this long. And good news, the next 3 bosses are much easier. Speaking of next bosses, the next one up is Blade Lord Tayak. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see that in your feed. And that is it for me. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Boss is dead.
Is he though?
Yeah.
He's on 6 million HP.
Great damage incoming.
He's dead.
I've seen his. I've lost his.